Hi, my friends. Welcome to Moon Magic. Here we are again for another full moon. And what a full moon do we have in this January 1st, the beginning of the Julian calendar, the beginning of 2018. We are starting with a full moon in Cancer now, a super moon in Cancer, no less. So I feel really soft about this moon. I feel very excited about this moon. I have a sense of real magic, honestly, when this moon shows up. Partially because there's nothing like the Cancer full moon. The moon rules Cancer. The moon is utterly at home in Cancer, and this watery, nurturing energy that is about the internal space can really help illuminate anything that has been blocked, because what it really all comes down to in our core as each individual being and then in the collective is what we are emanating, what we are vibrating from in here out. So this moon is going to illuminate our internal spaces, our internal emotional spaces in such a powerful way. I'm very excited about that. And part of the reason it is going to be doing so much powerful work is this particular Cancer full moon. Not only is it a super moon, but it's in a grand water trine. Now, we had a lot of grand fire trine energy in 2017 because we had Saturn in Sagittarius, we had Uranus in Aries, and we had the north node of the moon in Leo. So we had a lot of those energies playing around with each other throughout 2017. Well, now this water trine is going to have a completely different emphasis, a completely different energy. In fact, there's a lot of all the planets and where they're going to be at home somewhat, which is going to give them the ability to really work well and really open up the intuitive, watery, emotional side of our beings. So we have Neptune in Pisces at home. Neptune rules Pisces, so hanging out there. We have Mars in Scorpio. Now, Mars originally ruled Scorpio before Pluto was discovered. And so Mars is somewhat at home in Scorpio energy. And then we have the moon in Cancer. Moon rules Cancer. So all three are very empowered where they are. And they're working in this beautiful trine. So what does that mean? I mean, you are not going to want to fight against the emotive, intuitive pull of this moon, where you might want to get analytical. You might want to start analyzing what you're going to do for the new year. You might want to start putting the pieces into place for any of you with murky situations with your relationships or with work or with where you're going to live next. There might be this desire to, full moons tend to bring about very high energy, right? We're kind of awake, we're alert, things are getting opened up. And some of you may be feeling that urge to kind of analyze the yeses and the nos, the pros and the cons, and try and get action moving because it's the first day of the year. But I always advise with full moons to slow down. It is high energy. It does tend to bring out this howling desire to make change and movement. But this moon is so watery and so deeply powerful that if you start getting into the analytical mind frame, you could get dragged all around by this energy and feel, honestly, a little worse for wear at the end of it. It's kind of like swimming on a beach that has relatively kind of hard waves that kind of crash in. Like, they don't have to be big, but what they do is they can kind of drag you around. If you're trying to sit at the top of the water and just like doggy paddle around, those waves will come in and they will drag you wherever they want to drag you. So you kind of have to learn how to go down and in the water, in the quiet underneath those waves in order to work with that energy. And that's very much the image I get with this Cancer full moon. So this is what I would do. I would slow down. I would take it easy. If you can be around salt water, do it. Salt baths, really, really good. Beach, even better. Slow down, roll with it, go deep, go in there. For some of you, depending on your charts, where you've had influences, you may feel this moon very deeply. You may just need to be in the quiet alone in your internal space with what you have. This is a moon that will really liberate you, though. This is the first full moon of the year. I mean, whether you celebrate with the Julian calendar or with the solstice, This is the first full moon of the new year. And it is kind of that refresh energy of closing out what once was and opening something else up, right? And not only do we have this huge grand water trine going on, we also have Pluto nearly opposing the moon in Capricorn. And Pluto is this transformer, right? He wants to take everything and break it down, take you down to the bones in order to build you back up. And there's something to that. Now, Pluto's been hanging in Capricorn for a while, and in that space, you know, along with Saturn now in Capricorn, there is no room for false fronts. There is no room for false relationships. And honestly, all of these energies are very much about feeling your way through the world, using that set of senses that is water. And we all have water in us, right? We're made up of water. We are a high percentage of water. And water works in an amazing way. And if you can dive into it, you can manifest anything. And you can also leave behind all the old wounds, all the old doubts, all the old worries, all the old fears. However, you know, the way Pluto works, the way water works, is it will pull you down before it shoots you back out. So it's got to shed light on where you had a doubt, where you had a thought process that wasn't working, where you had a fear that you weren't enough or that you were too much, that you couldn't be yourself, that you couldn't share your internal space with the external world as it is. So it's getting illuminated. If you have a sore spot, you might find this moon just shines its light right on it, which is intense. But this is also the type of moon, and here's where it gets really interesting, that will set you up to manifest what you want. This is a moon that you may find very quickly brings in results. If you're going with water, if you're flowing with water, this moon could bring you everything you want very quickly. Not only is that happening, and why I'm saying that, take a moment with this January 1st full moon. Because the next day on the 2nd, Uranus goes direct. Uranus has been going retrograde since August. And pulling us back, that electrical, change-making, revolutionary energy has been retrograde, taking us back, making us look over life's lessons when we may have wanted to push forward and open that new project. Uranus has not been helping us out. Well, now he's going direct right after this full moon. And suddenly, there's motor power behind whatever you go through on the watery end, right? So take those first 3 days of the year. Take it in. Those two events alone highlight such very different energies. And it's really important that you don't push that process faster than it needs to go. You cannot tell the ocean that the tide needs to come in sooner, right? Same thing. You have to work with your watery element. And that means relaxing. It does mean surrendering. It doesn't mean putting muscle into it. It means learning how to float on your back in the water and look up at the stars. Yeah. So I'm going to pull. I'm not actually sure how many cards. I think maybe a threesome here would be good with the grand water trine. I think we're going to do a triple card thing. And I'm using the Cosmic Tarot. It's a beautiful deck. It is immensely beautiful. And I'm very excited to see what... Okay. This has never happened on a Moon Magic. But the card just fell very far away from the camera. I will be back in one moment. It's the Queen of Pentacles, of all things. The beautiful Queen of Pentacles. You know, that speaks to, I'm going to still be pulling a couple more cards here, but that does speak to that slow groundedness. And actually, I think that's a really good tool. I've been trying to think about how to enunciate, how to utilize water energy if you're not in it normally. For those of you water signs out there, you're going to be like, why is she even expressing this? We all know how to do this. But, you know, if you're fire or air, water doesn't always come naturally. So Queen of Pentacles is a really useful tool actually as far as how to utilize water energy, because Queen of Pentacles is grounded, right? So we have that Capricorn Sun, we have that Capricorn Pluto, that grounded energy of slowing down and taking stock, assessing, mothering oneself, as platitudinous as that sounds. Do you know how revolutionary it is to mother yourself? We have Mother Moon in the mother sign of Cancer. It is a time to mother yourself. Up, Two of Pentacles popped out. This moon is going to shed light on any false identities you have. It's going to shed light on dichotomies you have in your life. Split paths, split choices. And if you're watching my monthly videos, a lot of signs are having this trippy time loop thing going on where multiple storylines are happening all at once and you can feel them. And you're in one, you're highly attuned to one, right? That keeps unfolding and keeps unfolding. However, there's a sense of multiple unfoldings, right? Here it is. The moon is going to help you clarify. I think a lot of people are going to find this moon gives them an answer they've needed. In fact, the bottom of my deck is Judgment. And I can't think of a more clarifying energy than Judgment. Here is that coming up from underground, underground. These people are breaking through the rock of the soil to see. And, that's what full moons do. They do not spare anybody when it comes to wanting to give you the whole truth. And for this moon, anything that's not serving you, any people, any situations that are not serving you will be highlighted. They will be highlighted, and you will not be able to stay in the Two of Pentacles, false identities, or playing parts for people to make them comfortable, maybe not you, or diverging roads, diverging paths. Where do you go? This moon is going to help you with that. Now, actually, the third card that came out, I did show you the bottom of the deck, but I did pull a third card, and it is the Princess of Wands. Now, this makes me think about Uranus going direct in Aries. There's that spark. And I do think that the pairing of the first and the second and the way that those events are occurring, it's really like taking a long swim in some very deep, beautiful waters. And then the next morning waking up and feeling that surge of energy and clarity and purpose and direction and feeling fired up, feeling ignited, feeling high energy, actually. That's why I'm saying just give yourself the first. Give yourself the second. Feel it. And you will find that you are in a new landscape. Your new landscape. One of water and magic. I'm sending you all the best for this Cancer new moon, or full moon. I keep wanting to say new, but full. It is intense. Some of you may feel that it's brutal. Honestly, though, it's all for the good. It is a beautiful moon. It is so supportive. I think the magic is going to feel extremely high. The air is going to be sizzling with it. In fact, I really do feel. So I'm personally very excited for this full moon. And Happy New Year to everybody. I love you all so very much. I appreciate you all with the depths of my being, and I'm so happy to be here with you talking about some of my favorite things, and I will see you for the Capricorn new moon in just a couple weeks.